the way we look at history is so short-sighted. You know, my expertise is in automobiles. I mean, my other museum, there are over, well, 1,200 of them. It's really a work of art that's just never, you know, it's never going to be done, really. I think it'll be done when it all gets buried. Venus de Milo ain't got no arms and she ain't got a head. I mean, you don't see people like trying to put the head back on her or something. I mean, you don't need to restore a car. Like, look at that Porsche. Like, look at the colors. I mean, that's, you know, that opalescence. Oh, yeah.
Hey folks, I posted a video a couple weeks ago about my trip to California, and the trip worked out well for what the purpose of the trip, but it didn't work out well for filming and collecting data to upload here. Some technical problems and camera problems and battery problems and stupid problems. Usable. I had promised everybody a video with the surprise of the vehicle, so obviously you've just seen what it is. It's a 1973 Chevy Chevelle Deluxe Army staff car. And I want to talk a little bit about it here and kind of show you some specifics. So before I talk about the car first, I just want to explain the clips up front. Clips I hope I can use for the legal concept of fair use doctrine. Tina Love Digital Productions produced a documentary about Tom Merkel and the car garden in Northern California, which was an art project. Tom was an artist and never met the man, never heard of the man, but he worked on this project since about 1980, and he passed away a couple of years ago. And as I understand it, and there's a Car and Driver magazine article about it in 2005, and if you watch the documentary, it explains his love for vehicles and his passion for them, but it also talks about the idea or concept of not restoring them, letting them age as they would normally age. It talks about the Venus de Milo having no arms and that you would never repair it or restore it. He didn't like restoring automobiles, but he did collect them. So it's controversial in the sense that a lot of people think he did destruction of cars. I completely think the opposite. I think he saved rare vehicles and people were able to appreciate them the way they were. And this car came out of that collection. I know he never intended to sell parts. He never intended to sell these cars, but you know, things happen after you pass away, and this car became available and I acquired it. So it's got a 350 in it that needs a lot of work. And you can see the patina or rust, however you want to define it, on the car. The car was originally olive green for military. You can see it was U.S. Army. If anybody can explain what any of these codes mean on the car, even came with its original license plates. And it has only 70,000 miles on it. So clearly it was probably stationed somewhere in the military on an Army base in California. It has a white painted roof. It came from the factory olive green, but it looks like the military painted the roof white. I think that was done because it's a non-air conditioned car, so it was a way to keep the car cooler. But this is as base as you can get on vehicles, so shout out to Cold War Motors, Scott, that whole crew, and their love of base vehicles. We got the rubber floor mat going on here. Oh, it does have air conditioning. I'm wrong on that. Still got the fasten seatbelt sticker from the military. There's a designation 811 on here, or 118 if it's upside down, I don't know. It was built in July of 1973. It's really solid. Again, military green. Animal droppings all through the inside of it. I haven't gotten in here to clean it yet. I've just been kind of busy since I got back from my trip. But it really is solid. It's more sunburnt than anything else, which is amazing because these General Motors mid-size cars from 73 to 77 are notorious for rusting out all over the body. I mean, the trunk area and the roofs on these always rust out, but this is not rusted. Now, the other thing about this car that's very bizarre and how I acquired it, you folks don't know because I don't talk about personal stuff, I only talk about cars, but I have a twin brother. And my twin brother has a YouTube channel as well, and he's a car collector, and I'm posting it here so you guys can go to his channel. But recently he did an interview with Ben Merkel, who is Tom Merkel's brother. So it kind of goes to show that there's something crazy about certain people, or a hereditary problem that some people have with automobiles. Ben and Tom were brothers, and they were like-minded in the sense of collecting old cars and hoarding or collecting. I don't like the term hoarding because I don't think it's hoarding. If they're, I just don't like that term. My brother has a collection as well, and he has his YouTube site, but he's actually co-authored a book with Ben Merkel, which I think is bizarre that I would just randomly find this car, buy it, and then discover it's owned by, or was, who Tom Merkel was, because I never heard of him. I've known Ben. I met him 20 years ago when I bought a Checker, 1937 Checker from him, but I never knew he had a brother who was crazy enough to be collecting cars as well. So I'm looking forward to this project. The thing that's amazing to me is even the windows. There's no cracks in the windows, and when you have cars in the wild, so often they get vandalized. But the car garden was so far away and remote that I think their cars were relatively vandal free. Even the bumpers, the chrome is fantastic. door panels can be all cleaned up a little bit. I just want to be able to drive this car the way it looks. I don't want to restore this car. I want to be true to what Tom Merkel was doing. So I just don't want to ride around in a dirty, crummy seat, and I can clean up these floor mats. But we'll see how this goes. Let me just, the engine is really kind of pulled apart. I used to work for a Chevy dealer when these cars were new. So in 1978 we had some leftovers, but ugh, that's a mess. Nests. I mean, clearly, who knows what's gone down inside the engine. So it's going to need a lot of work. But at the same time, it's not a highly optioned car, so that always makes them easier to restore because you're not spending money on, you know, lots of different electrical systems like power brakes, well, power windows and power seats and all the other stuff that can break. So go to my brother's YouTube channel and check out that channel. Thank you, Scott at Cold War Motors, for the mention. I got some new subscribers because of you. And please check out also Tina Love Digital Productions to see the documentary Last Man in Paradise about Tom Merkel. It's a pretty amazing story, and it's just a great documentary. And you can see it here on YouTube.